What's going on, y'all, and Merry Christmas to all of you who celebrate. In the comments, let me know what your favorite gift that you got was. And in today's video, I'm gonna be giving you the top 5 best class setups to be using in Modern Warfare 3. I know there's a lot of new players who may have got the game for Christmas, or there's a lot of you who've been playing the game for a while and you just want to destroy some Christmas noobs. So these are gonna help everyone out. But first, if you love Modern Warfare 3, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel because we upload daily Modern Warfare 3 content, and then click the thumbs up button. Helps out in the algorithm, helps grow the channel. With all that being said, let's hop into the first class setup. Now, we're gonna be starting off with one of, if not the most broken and overpowered weapon in the game, the Pulamyat 7.62 LMG. So what makes this very, very special is this aftermarket kit that you need to have on, because as you see, you get a massive increase in your mobility, so you can get around the map a lot more quickly, and it feels less like an LMG and more like an AR. You also get a massive increase in fire rate, which leads to a faster time to kill. And not to mention an increase in aim down sight speed, which is the greatest downfall of LMGs because they're just so slow. So you have this on, it changes the weapon completely. And then after that, you're gonna wanna throw in the MW3 grip, which is very interesting because it gives you more aim down sight speed, but then also gives you a huge boost in your recoil control. Best of both worlds, you gotta have this attachment on. I then threw on the Chimera Rhine vertical grip. As you saw with that aftermarket kit, it boosts that rate of fire quite a bit. So to control it, make it a little easier on yourselves to control, throw this on, you just get another increase in your accuracy. You then have the Jack Annihilator long barrel. As you see, you get an increase in bullet velocity and range, which allows you to kill enemies a little bit more quickly in those long range engagements. And then my final attachment is an optic. I'm not a fan of the iron sights, and I rocked the slate reflector. If you don't like that, you could also do the NIDAR, which is really nice, and the Mark III reflector. All personal preference, just throw something on, and that's gonna be the first class setup. I could bring you to the firing range with it, and you're gonna see, bro, like, it's just so easy to use. It's super easy. You can kind of shut your brain off and run around with this, and you're gonna be fine. The second class setup, we have the first SMG, the Striker, and this is an updated build I have no gameplay with yet, but let me tell you, it is nuts. So starting off with the 60-round drum, so we can take out multiple enemies without having to reload. We have then the high grain rounds, where one, there's no enemy skulls. So when you take an enemy out, there's not that skull above their head. You're a little bit more on the stealthier side of things. We then get bullet velocity and damage range. So this thing's a little bit more powerful in those longer range gunfights. We have the L4R flash hider as our third attachment, and this gives us a huge boost in accuracy and recoil control, helping us land a lot more of those shots, especially in those longer ranges where you're gonna wanna be a lot more accurate. We then have the Striker Recon long barrel, and you get more bullet velocity and range. So when you have this and that ammunition, one of the best SMGs at medium ranges. It's great. And then my final attachment may shock you. I went with no stock for a massive increase in mobility, so I can break some ankles, and I can be super deadly up close and at a range, and that's what makes this setup so good. So when I take this to the firing range and you see how you get a lot of mobility out of this, right? Okay, the weapon's not going to be that accurate because it has all that mobility, right? No. This is what I'm talking about, man. So when you have a weapon that is this versatile at a range and up close, you're in the money. This is just ridiculous. Our third class setup, we have the BAS-B, aka the Bass Blood. I ain't gonna lie, this is my personal favorite weapon in the entire game, and I've been saying that since the beta. It's just so good. You gotta try my setup out. So for the first attachment, 45 round magazine. I ain't gonna lie, you could actually get away with a 30. It feels like a 50. It takes enemies out so quick. A 30 feels like it's more than enough. Personal preference, I swap between the two, but 45 is what most people enjoy. I have the high grain rounds. When you throw something like this on a weapon this powerful, where you get extra bullet velocity and damage range, it just completely breaks it. It is honestly so stupid. I got the Chimera Rhine vertical grip, and this just helps control the weapon. It does have a little bit of bounce, and this just completely removes that. And when you're landing consistent shots over and over again, it just makes the weapon that much better because you're actually landing all your shots. I then have on the Bruin Venom long barrel for another increase in bullet velocity and range. On top of that, better recoil control, gun kick control. I think this is a necessity of an attachment because you just get so much out of it. And the iron sights aren't bad, but if you're going to use this at a range or something, you're going to want to see a little bit better. So throw on any type of optic. I love the slate reflector quite a bit. You take this to the firing range, and this reminds me of the pull 'em yet in the sense of you could just shut your brain off and use the weapon. It is just, it really is that easy, what you just saw right there. BAS-B, again, my personal favorite weapon in all of Modern Warfare 3. For the next class setup, we actually have an AR finally, and this is my MCW build that I've used in my hand cam video a few days ago. I covered the swarm kill streak almost a month ago now with this build, and everyone keeps asking for it. Even though I already gave it to you, I'll give it to you again. So I got the 60 round drum mag, and I'm a very aggressive player, so I want to just be in the enemy's faces, trapping them, taking out as many people as possible without having to reload. So that's why I have that on. 40, I just can't be as reckless. So that's why I threw this on. We got the high grain rounds once again. It's an absolute laser beam of a weapon, so that recoil control you lose out on, don't even worry about it. Just focus on those pros, the bullet velocity and damage range, because that is very, very helpful. I have the X10 ported 290 muzzle, which I think is the most underrated muzzle in the entire game. Not a lot of people use it, and you get a disturbing amount out of it. I mean, you could just see the huge boost in gun kick control, horizontal recoil, and vertical recoil you get out of this. Super, super good. We have the MCW Cyclone long barrel, where you get a massive boost in your bullet velocity and range, just making this thing a powerhouse of a weapon at those longer ranges. And iron sights aren't bad. Again, personal preference. I like to just throw a slate reflector on. If you don't want to use an optic, you could do, honestly, any stock's really good. This is probably a very good option. The RB Regal heavy stock's not also very well, but firing range, brother. This is just, again, shut your brain off, use the weapon. Seriously, you don't really got to think about it. It is just super easy to use. Probably the most popular weapon in the game. And then our fifth and final class setup is the WSP Swarm, which in my opinion, when it comes to close range gunfights, this is king. So I got the 50 round magazine, which you're definitely gonna need. As you can see, that fire rate is almost maxed out. You burn through ammo incredibly quick. I wouldn't blame you if you run the 100 round drum, but it does slow you down quite a bit. Not a fan of that. I think 50 gets the job done. I got the Marauder grip. Like I said, it has a high fire rate, so that means the weapon will be a little bit harder to control, but when you throw this on, you just get a huge boost in that recoil control, just making it a little easier to use. We have the WSP Optic Long Barrel, more recoil control, more gun kick control. So when you have this and that rear grip, it just makes things that much better. I throw an optic on sometimes, I take it off. I'm always changing my build, so I feel like I gotta cover this in this top 5 because it just changes all the time. Having an optic on is nice because I feel like you could see so much better out of this compared to the iron sights that could be clogged up for others. So I got the slate reflector on. And then my final attachment, what brings this all together, the FSS Fortress Heavy Stock. And again, it's just more gun kick control, more recoil control. So now we have the stock, the barrel, and the rear grip to control this incredibly high fire rate. Take this to the firing range, and I'm telling you, man, it's supposed to be a beast up close, but medium ranges, I mean, son, it shouldn't be doing that, but it is. And you have this crazy high fire rate that just disintegrates enemies. This is what makes this just such a hardcore meta weapon in the game. And then no matter what 5 setups of these that you use, my vest, field upgrade, gloves, boots, gear, perks, all stay the same, and you can see that on screen. Again, if any of these setups do help you out, click the thumbs up button, and you guys all stay safe. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next one, and I'm out. Peace.